Week 7 package bees for 2026. Let's get into the inspection. It's raining today off and on, so I've got a little gap in the rain, so I'm going to knock on the front door with a couple of puffs of smoke to let the bees know that we are here. We're just going to check things out, and hopefully they're not too upset I'm ripping the roof off of the house in between a rainstorm. All right, lots of bees up here in the top. That's what we like to see. That crack of the lid, gotta be careful about that. It's a little bit cool today, so that crack of the lid, the vibration upsets the bees because, again, bees operate largely on a predator response, and when you bang and vibrate the house like that, it kind of feels like some big monster just came and ripped the roof off the house, which is kind of true. So, all right. And I checkerboarded frames last week, so let's see how much progress we've got going on here. This frame all the way on the outside is now capped honey. Okay, yeah, they are working. There's some brood in that one as well. Working all the way out here to the edge. Don't see the queen, so very gently going to push these out of the way here. Again, looking for the queen real quick. That is a double-sided frame of brood. All that looks great. They were making some queen cells last week. Just want to make sure that that is still under control. There's not some urgency by the bees to try to swarm on me. We're into the coming into the 3rd week of May, so we have a few more weeks of a nectar flow for us here in southern Indiana. She's got some space where she's been backfilling, so all that looks good. She's been working there. So we have a queen here, and so they have these practice queen cells out here on the edges. Yep, it's dry. Those are practice. I am going to take them away because I do not want them to try to get some ideas about leaving the hive. Everything's working well. We want to keep all the ladies at home. Yep, we got a bunch of these little practice, can't even say it, practice cups here. I'll pull that off. And they must be starting to feel a little cramped because each week they're making more and more of those practice cups. Okay. So far all this looks great, and they are actually going to be at the 70% threshold. So that one they're still working to draw the wax. I had checkerboarded that one. So, get out of the way here, girls. Yeah, okay. That's a full double-sided frame of brood that is capped over. They're gonna go through a boost of population, so that's what we want. Yeah, and this one, so again, yep, doing good work there, drawing. The next frame over is all drawn comb. They've got it full, looks like more brood, yep, and fresh larva. She's backfilling, which is really good. That side's all capped, it hasn't opened up, so as soon as that opens up, then she'll be backfilling there as well. A couple of practice queen cups here. They're kind of getting the notion, so we do want to give them some extra space today. So, okay, that's enough of what I need to see. They've got lots of brood coming along. They're at this 70% threshold here in the top box in the early spring, and during our nectar flow we use 70% instead of 80% threshold because we want to make sure that we keep them growing and not getting confined. So it is time for a super. And the way that I like to super hives, add the honey box. So super is just the honey box. I like to add a queen excluder because I want the queen to have the family down here. When I'm raising family down here, I want honey stored in the pantry upstairs, so it's easy for me to extract later, and I don't have to wait for the babies to be born out of the honey storage and stuff. So it's just a lot easier from a management perspective for what I'm doing. So I use a metal queen excluder, and then again, this is a medium super box. This is plastic, brand new plastic foundation. Got some extra wax on there. And here's a trick whenever you are doing super boxes. So this is a 10 frame box, but I'm going to put 9 frames in this box. And then what I'm going to do is space them so that I have an extra gap between all the frames. It's a little bit difficult to do here on an angle, but you kind of get the idea. What I'm trying to do is give a little bit of opening, and what the bees are going to do is fill that opening with wax. So what they'll overdraw the wax on either side of all these frames, and then that makes it a lot easier for me when I'm extracting honey, because when we extract honey, we're going to use that hot knife, and we're going to follow the top bar and the bottom bar with the knife. And so sometimes if it's shallow, it's difficult to uncap the honey. This extra gap between the frames, the bees will overdraw, and it'll be a lot cleaner and easier for me to uncap in one full sheet. It just makes the process a lot more efficient down the road. So I'm going to space these. There are spacers that you can use that you can mount into the frame rest that the frames will then nest into, or there is a plastic spacer tool that you can use to get this right. I forgot to grab one, so I'm going to do it the manual way here and just kind of split the gap between them all so that it's nice and even. And then there are some people that, they'll say a queen excluder is a honey excluder. So the bees don't like to cross this metal honey or this metal queen excluder, and so then the bees won't come up and use the honey box. And that is true. Sometimes there are certain families of bees, types of bees, I don't know what it is, a genetic trait or a condition, or I have no idea what the root cause is, but there are some bees that do not like to cross that kind of barrier of the queen excluder. And so one of the tricks that I use to combat that, to kind of offset it, is our top entrance. And our top entrance is simply a shim with a milled notch in it so that the bees can come and go in the top of the hive. And this is also a lot more efficient because they don't have to come in the bottom, come through 2 brood boxes to come up into the honey super to put honey in. And so we make these really affordable shims that go in the top, that gives them a top entrance. And then your inner cover still goes like normal at the top of the hive. Then your lid, your outer cover, goes on top of that. And there's an overhang, so that top entrance is underneath, kind of like a porch, so that the rain and stuff doesn't go into it. So that's how our top entrance works. These girls are all set up for the next week, and we still have a good nectar flow going on. We've got some rain today, so clovers are blooming. We've got some really good stuff, a lot of nectar flow, and there's been pollen coming in as well, so they're growing the family. We're going to try and make some honey. Everybody be blessed.